First of all, my heart goes out to Wing Commander Sial, our intrepid Tejas fighter pilot, whom we have lost in the Dubai air show. It's heartrending to see his widow, herself an Air Force officer, in tears. It's really, truly sad. It has been a disaster as far as optics and PR goes. So far, the Tejas jet fighter had an enviable safety record, 24 years of flying, and so far we had only 2 crashes. The first crash was last year. There was an engine failure, but the pilot had time to bail out and he was saved. This time we were not so lucky. You see, low stunt flying in air shows is always a risky business. Pilots and machines are pushed to their utmost to try and get thrills to the crowd below and to earn export orders. My problem is, why are we so hell bent on exporting? Charity begins at home, please. We are down to 29 squadrons when you have to have minimum of 42, and if you look at it realistically, you need bloody 60 to face a 2-front war situation, and we are now not in a 2-front war situation. We are in a 3.5 front war situation. China, Pakistan, Bangladesh and that homegrown terrorists and Gaddar sector that we have always had. Insurgents, terrorists, the works, Maoists. You are in a 3.5 front situation. We urgently need to plug the gaps. And here it is, we are starry-eyed about exports. They are all fixated on exports as some kind of a gold standard. You might as well first plug the serious gaps that are plaguing your squadron strength. You can't afford to slacken on that front. I can't understand this drive for exports. We have serious shortfalls at home, and you have to give priority to your own Air Force because you are in a dangerous neighborhood, the most dangerous neighborhood in the world to nuclear powers. But some of us compare ourselves to the United States. It has 2 oceans and it has Canada and Mexico for neighbors. So you can't be in that la la land ki everything is all well. We have decades and decades to catch up and fill up the gaps in our defense sector profile. You have to act, and you have to act fast. What is the problem there really? I'm sorry, the problem bluntly stated is that the United States has stabbed us in the back. We were supposed to get about 200 odd Tejas Mark 1A jet fighters, and the delivery should have started 2 years before. But we've already paid $1 billion hard cash, and we have been stabbed in the back, we have been swindled. So far we have received only 2 instead of 200. And just by the way, the Tejas Mark 1A, we were supposed to get the advanced GE 414 engines. We have just signed the deal for the GE 404 in the fond hope that at least we will get these, and we will not have to wait another 2 or 3 decades for these to trickle in at America's sweet whims, fancies and this thing. We paid hard cash. We are not begging for it. We are not asking for freebies like Pakistan. We paid hard cash. And I mean, there are some professional ethics. There are contracts. You deliver. The United States has added caveats that first we will have to fill up our own gaps at home before we give it to you. It's only we who are keen to export when we have huge shortfalls at home. Why is that great urgency to export BrahMos cruise missiles? These are damn good, very effective missiles, but we need more of them. We fired off quite a lot in Sindoor 1.0. We have to catch up. So let's look at Philippines and some other countries a little later. Charity begins at home. We have to catch up with our own glaring shortfalls, and we are not going to fight a conflict as, I don't know, most Indians are quite convinced कि 10 साल 15 साल कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता साहब, हो रहा है, हो जाएगा. Like hell, war could break out tomorrow, 2 months later, 2 years later, not 20 years later. ATAGS एक और बनाओ, 10 साल 15 साल लो, कोई बात नहीं, हमें 14-15 टन का चाहिए. Tejas fighters, no, we have to kiss and make up with America, so we will keep buying from America, they will keep stabbing us in the back, we will just have to live with it. Why? Why the hell can't we get another engine for the Tejas aircraft from a more reliable source? We were working with Safran, we were working with Rolls-Royce. You can work with Europe. I mean, they are developing engines for the 5th and 6th generation aircraft. You could collaborate with Japan. Japan needs you, you need Japan. If it is any, we sent ballistic missiles into space, satellites into outer space, satellites to the moon and Mars, but we have a problem with jet engines. If it is any comfort, so has China. Very few countries have really mastered the jet engine technology. We have no bloody option but to indigenize. But then, sir, that indigenization has to work. It can't remain a pie in the sky. Years and decades have been spent on the Kaveri, and at the end of it, we have something which is only fit for unmanned aircraft. So, I think, what is the bloody answer? The answer lies in opening it to your private sector. There is competition there, and competition value engineers the product. And when there is competition, things get done much faster, far more efficiently. Give it to the private sector. We are still stuck with our public sector behemoths working at their own sweet pace. We have all the time in the world. In the meantime, we will build a second parliament, third parliament, we will build a central vista and this and that, and defense can take last priority. It can't. I'm sorry, it can't. Because you may have a war on your hands sooner than you think. So this la, this laid back attitude, another 10 years, another 15, 20, AMCA will take you minimum 1 decade. My problem is, our problem is that if there are Pakistani pilots already training on the J-35, after the Pakistani stab in the back during Sindoor, China has slowed down that induction of J-35s, but they are giving them Hangor class 8 submarines, air independent propulsion. They might give it next year. They might give the J-35 stealth fighter to Pakistan. And if they don't give, Turkey is collaborating with them in producing a 5th generation stealth fighter. They will introduce the J-35 or a stealth 5th generation fighter, then the Indian Air Force will always be catching up with Pakistan. ठीक है साहब, we were catching up with China. That was okay. China has a lead over you. You've reduced yourself ki defense is the last priority. We can catch up. Let us catch up with Pakistan. My God, I mean, this is an unbelievable state of affairs. It has to change. And I think now the PMO will have to take charge. Only then I think we will get some bang for the buck. Make it a national mission. We must produce our own jet engines. We must produce our own 5th and 6th generation fighter aircraft. And we must get the Tejas program up and rolling so that 200 fighters can be churned out fast to plug the gap caused by the phasing out of the MiG-21s, 23s, 27s. Very soon you will have to phase out the Jaguars, the Mirages, everything. So we have to get the Rafale fighters 115, 114. Please get them. You don't have the luxury of waiting forever. If you need an interim solution in which you have to get at least 2 to 3 squadrons of Su-57, please get it. You can't afford a solution in which Chinese Air Force has 5th generation fighters, Pakistani Air Force has 5th generation fighters, and at this rate they might even sell it to Bangladesh, and you are the only one who doesn't have 5th generation fighter. You are quite content to wait 10 साल. क्या फर्क पड़ता है? फर्क पड़ेगा जब आपके लोग मरेंगे. This is unacceptable. This is a crisis situation. We might as well be aware of it. And I think it is time for the highest office in the land to step in and correct this drift. Thank God, because of indigenous technology, we've been able to plug some crucial gaps and manage to hold our own. But what is needed is needed. There are operational basic requirements. Your auditors can't dictate ki what you can have and what you don't have. Will that auditor take the rap if there are problems in the next war? He saved money, all right, but you have to save the country, sir. You have to save your country. You see, therefore, I think we now need to go in for practical solutions. Interim solutions till our private sector gets the act together in indigenization. We will have to accept interim solutions like the Rafales. They have to come in. We have to have because the Rafales will replace the Mirages and Jaguars, which will have to be phased out like the MiG-21s. You can't afford a situation where your Pakistani Air Force at 25 squadrons becomes bigger than the Indian Air Force, for God's sake. And therefore, you have to go in for interim solution for the 5th generation stealth fighter aircraft. The Su-57 is a very good offer. They are prepared to do transfer of technology, they are prepared to share source codes, they are prepared to let you manufacture it in India. Buy one squadron off the shelf, manufacture 2, 3, 4, whatever we feel is required, because at least here is a tried and tested friend, tried and tested over the decades from 71 and much earlier onwards. When the Americans were not giving you F-104, they gave you the MiG-21s, supersonic fighter. Please. So let's go where there is trustworthiness. I'm sorry, but the United States has not proved itself to be a trustworthy partner in commercial deals. They have their own interests which get primacy. You can hang. You may pay through your nose, but the delivery will be at the whims and fancies of the Americans. They are not something you can operationally afford. We can't afford that operationally. President Putin is coming on the 6th of December, and I hope we will see the fruition of a lot of pending contracts. We could see the Su-57 coming in. We could see more S-400s come in. Also possibly the S-500. They are already going in for the uprated engines for T-90s, 1300 horsepower, for the T-72s, 1000 horsepower plus. I mean, that's already in the works. These are old engines that have to be replaced. The present fleet has to be made battle worthy for the next at least a decade more till our own main battle tank comes in. But we have to now be aware of operational realities and operational shortfalls, and we must realize we have no time. The next war may come. It is pointless getting all these toys after we've already fought the next war. Please, you have to speed up the induction, because at the rate at which your neighborhood is turning hostile, a war may be upon you before you can say Jack Robinson. We have already lost 2 crucial decades. There is no way that India can afford to lose a 3rd decade. You see, now we have a government that is very well giving primacy to Aatmanirbharta, to self-sufficiency and self-reliance. For that, we will have to work in a practical manner. There may have to be some interim solutions to tide over the production gap, but those gaps will have to be filled up if we are talking of real wars and conflict, which could happen any time now. Operation Sindoor has not been called off. Operation Sindoor 2.0 could happen any time. So, all of those of our zombies who are acting as if we have all the time in the world, we can work at our pace of our public sector, I am sorry, you can't let the country down. Jai Bharat, Jai Hind.